Hi, can you please tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Gilbert de Armas, originally from Havana, Cuba. Been in this country since the age of 3. I am currently 66 years old.
3 years old. Have you ever been back to Cuba?
No, I was in the military for 25 years, Coast Guard. Couldn't go in the 80s or 90s. Russia was in.
As a Coast Guard, did you travel outside or only in US?
Only in the continental United States.
Did you go everywhere?
California, Washington, D.C., Governor's Island. That's about it. Started as a rescue swimmer, ended up as a legal yeoman in Washington, D.C., Coast Guard headquarters, legal division.
25 years.
25 years.
Thank you for your service, man.
You're very welcome.
How was it? Can you tell us some stories?
If I had to do it again, I'd do the 40.
You have the option to do 40 years?
Do till you retire, till you're 65. I think officers got to retire by 65. Yeah, we're right at 60 or something officers. But I was a second class going to first class. Got my first class. Didn't want to go any higher.
Why would you do it again? What's good about it?
If I was to do it again, I would probably skip the rescue swimmer division part and go straight into the legal division. And I would have made chief. I bounced around different. I was a rescue swimmer, then I had to start all over to become a legal yeoman. They had to send me to school. That's how I got to California. But if I had to do it again, I would have gone straight from boot camp to yeoman school to hopefully Coast Guard headquarters. I got lucky Coast Guard headquarters because there are more officers than enlisted at Coast Guard headquarters. Everybody's an officer. Everybody's a lawyer. You got the commandant of the Coast Guard, you got the vice commandant, and you have the master chief of the Coast Guard, which there's only one. There's master chiefs, have 2 stars with the Eagle. But master chief of the Coast Guard has 3 stars. Nobody else is walking around with 3 stars as an enlisted. Just him, and he works at headquarters too. So I work with lawyers, pretty much with lawyers, admirals, in charge of their own division. I would do their typing stuff. It was fun. I went to parochial school. That was that and being a jock.
Can you balance it? Can you say one positive and one negative thing about it?
I picked the Coast Guard because I was a swimmer. I really wanted to stay in the continental United States. It was peacetime. I wanted to give back to a country that allowed me and my parents to come here and start a new life. They gave me, I gave it back.
What did your parents tell you about Cuba?
Stories. They were always positive stories. One thing I didn't know was in Cuba, even to this day, every person can read and write. If you look up right now, what is the literacy rate in Cuba right now, and they'll tell you 100%. I looked it up the other day, that's what I said. But I've always known it's been in the 90s. But here you have a country where obviously communism didn't work because the streets all, except for what has to do with public persona with other countries, the average person, if you're a taxi driver, you have a taxi, the engine's out, the seat's there, and you're being pulled by a mule or a donkey or a horse, and yet you can read and write.
What's the literacy here?
Here, about 70, 80, maybe. But everybody in Cuba can read and write. Period. It's an easy language. Once you learn the alphabet, you can't go from 1st to 2nd grade without being able to read. They'll give you a newspaper or they'll give you don't have to understand. You gotta pronounce every word. And you will. You just do it because it's like by the time you're in 1st grade, it's like now here, finally you have pre-K, K. When I was here, we had nursery school, which had to do with people eating glue, sniffing glue. They weren't teaching you playing with blocks. My mother said, forget that. But by the time I got to 1st grade, from 3 to 6, I learned English by watching Jack LaLanne. some guru that used to do exercise, in the late 50s, early 60s. A little guy, never used weights, but he was like amazing.
You're in good shape. How are you keeping it?
No red meat, eat to live, don't live to eat. You must exercise every day, at least 15, 20 minutes. Minimum before you start. I don't care if you're a construction worker, you gotta stretch. You gotta eat right. You can do whatever, obviously you see me smoking weed, so you can do whatever you want, very little, or for that one day. You start smoking and doing your thing 7 days a week, it's gonna catch up to you. I don't care how good you stay in shape.
How old are you, sir?
I will be 67 in June this year, so I'm 66.
What have you learned in life?
Don't take it too seriously. Shit's gonna happen no matter what. Whether you're prepared for it, whether you practice 10 years to get there, you could be the best in the world, but that day you go to perform, somebody will come and have the greatest day. He'll probably won't have anything better than that day. But out that day, you were 99%, you was 105%. You can beat him any other day from now to the end of the world. But on that given day, you beat you, or you beat yourself. That's life. There you go. Keep going.
What can you tell us about this sport?
These courts, I've been running around these courts, not playing handball, but running around these courts since 1969. I was 10. I played in the Goya Little League, and I was the same size already as I am right. By the time I was in 5th grade, I was already 5'9", and that's what I am right now. And I've been 138 pounds all my life, except when I went to boarding school where I played 4 sports during the year. I had to at least go to 160, 160. I was playing positions that were not for me to play. But I went to boarding school. It was either study or get out and play sports. So study and play sports.
What about handball?
Handball, I played it in Catholic school because the big kids were playing basketball, which ended up being my best love. I was good at it, and lefty. Had a good jump shot, but I couldn't dribble for shit. I could play and beat you today, but if you had any brains, you know the next day, or you knew somewhere in the middle of that game, this guy's good, but he's left-handed. No matter where he goes, left or right, you know he's gonna go up with his left hand. You gotta figure me out the same way I play handball. For 35 years, I played with a fucked up leg. Now I got a new knee. But during those 35 years that I was hobbling, I played behind me. If you killed it in front of me and I couldn't get there, then you did your job. My job was to keep it away from you killing it and make the game last 3 hours if I could. Get you bored. Next thing I know, all I gotta do is get to 21 before you do. Yeah, you could be a better player. You lost track of the game. It got boring for you and it didn't give. I actually outplayed them up here. Not physically. These guys have been playing forever. And you can't play this game and copy other guys. Their swing is their swing. Anybody who's got a natural swing with both hands, they've been playing all their lives. Guys who play with their offhand and they have that stiff arm, believe me, they can play. It's just, they probably play other sports. These guys who be doing all this and doing with either hand, like Tabito, my man, yeah, he runs, he works out, he strategizes, he eats, he breathes, he plays this. He's played this in such a little kid that guys who are good, he'll beat them with his left hand. Because they're not expecting the offhand to be that fluid. They're expecting a stiff arm. No matter what they do and kill it, but they're expecting a stiff arm. Once he goes like this, they're like, what the fuck, is he right-handed, is he left-handed? If you know him, you know you gotta keep the ball away from him. But on any given day, as great as he is, other guys figure him out for that day, and they beat him. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3, you're number 4. You gotta know what that guy came with to play in that tournament. Is he tired? Did he go out last night? Is he talking shit? Is he smoking weed? Is he in the game? Is he watching? You guys are right there. Davito goes and that's the way I play everybody here. I know everybody's weaknesses, and you would think they would know mine. But their egos take over. If I was playing somebody, if I was playing myself, forget it. I don't really know more. But if you don't, I'm old enough to be some of these guys who are in their 30s and 40s. I'm old enough to be their father, if not older. I'm almost 70. Like I said, I'm going to be 67. Some of these guys I know since they were 12. I was already in my 30s. But they stuck with it, and they're all good guys. The one thing about handball is rare. You might get an argument, but it's, no, it was out, it was in. Anybody got a call? Outside call? That's it. No more arguing. You got your guys who have, there's no way it could. That's ego talk. Finish the game. Don't play with them anymore. It's just how it is. If you don't want to, I'm a passive guy. I even tell guys, you kick my ass. For every point that even if we're winning, when I go up and you hit a shot, I say, good fucking shot. So how you been? I'm helping you while I'm losing to you or as we're playing. That's how I was taught. Ask questions. It's not like basketball, and other sports. It's rare you're gonna get guys who are total strangers just answer all your 30 questions. But here, listen, how come you can? No. You give them back the shot. You gotta take it. You have to learn strategy before you can use strategy. It's a chess game on the run.
Couple more questions. If you could, you wanna tell us how did you mess up your ankle and how long it took you to fix it? Yes, your knee. Sorry.
Football in high school, then twice in basketball while in the Coast Guard playing for the Coast Guard team, the same leg. By that time it was starting to bowl. I wasn't starting then. I kept running on concrete. That made it worse. And then I tore my Achilles on the other leg, which made me walk on this leg. By the time this leg got back, I said, you know what? No more basketball. Go back to, that was in my 30s. So I've always known, but that's when I decided if I'm going to play this game, I'm already come injured, so I got to learn the rules. I mean, not rules, I only know strategy. You're playing with a handicap, keep him away from your handicap. It's easier said than done, but that's what's challenging for me. I play a guy who beats everybody, and I go and I play him, and I get 3 points, 5 points on him. But man, I'm happy, especially when I had a bad knee. Now I know Johnny. I ain't giving him that shit. And most likely he's still gonna get it. And then you kill it, and you put your hands on your hip, and he's there like Tabito, and he's there to get it. And you're like, what the fuck? He was over there. He shouldn't have got that. They're that good. But you strive to score a point on those guys. 1 or 2 points on any 10 top players, that's a game you beat most local players or the guys you play with. So at 67 almost, just that I'm out here with a six-pack playing these guys, I've got no complaints. My 3 kids, my 2 stepkids and my daughter, they're all college graduates, they're all good people. I got no complaints, life is good.
You say you're smoking weed. Anything about weed?
I've been talking shit while you've been filming me, so we might as well continue now. What was that?
You say you're smoking weed. Anything about weed at your age? What's good, what's bad about it as well?
Dímelo, what's up, baby? Weed. You shouldn't smoke anything that makes you sick. If you smoke it to be cool, that's a waste of time. I smoked it I didn't like it. I smoked it later, I liked it. Never to an abuse. I smoke a joint, share it, smoke half a joint, but I will not continue to smoke joint after joint after joint after joint, have a beer after. I don't like beer, so I have a wine cooler, I gotta use water with it. Wifey don't like me drinking all that sugar. Compromise. Happy wife, happy life. at least you try to keep it in those parameters. It's not always going to be. It could be happy wife. Like this morning, she woke up. She's retired. I'm retired now. I tell her, don't sweat this. You survived the rat race, and now that you're retired, you know we've got elderly family members who are getting sick. They're in their late 90s. I understand that. We should be there for them. But at the end of the day, if we have to be, I'd rather be a carer than a caree. Sorry. Because as a carer, you fend for yourself and for those who need you. As a caree, you can't fend for yourself. All it is you're being taken care of. And when you have family that's willing to do that, it's another blessing.
Anything else would you like to add?
No, I think I've said enough shit smoking in my butt. The next time it'll be a good interview. This is
Can we do it in 10 years and you're gonna be in the same shape?
hell yeah.
Alright, thank you, man.
Peace.
Peace.